because all it really takes is being intentional. You know what I'm saying? And you learn that once you get a little older. You don't have to spend, days with them, spending time with them. But it's just about when you're with them, be with them.
His plane flew in the Hamptons. They didn't have stairs big enough.
He gave some elite football terminology right there.
He did.
It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
Welcome to the Players Talk Business Podcast with your host, Darius Jackson, Kayvon Frazier. Shout out We Work Preston Center, coming from you live. Great space. We thank them every time that they're allowing us to record it here. But today, we got another special guest. Part 2, we had a great conversation in Cowboys Club. We had to have him back to have a different type of conversation to capitalize on what we were speaking about. Former NFL vet, 5 years?
Yes, sir.
5-year NFL vet, founder, leader, camp exposure. Tyler Patmon, well, welcome back, bro.
Man, appreciate you guys having me back, man. Like you said, we had a great conversation last time, so I'm excited.
We did, man. We did, and that's why we want to have you on, because we just, after the episode, it was great. It was informational, but we were like, bro, we got to have him back. Yeah, we got to dive deeper.
We had to change up the setting a little bit.
We did.
Get more intimate.
How you like the space? How you like the new space?
I like it.
You like it?
You know what I'm saying? Nice little vibe in here.
You got a little headphones on, you know what I'm saying? It is a
saying?
different vibe.
It's
a different vibe.
Personal, though.
So, I mean, I know that was what, about a month ago we had you, or a little longer?
Maybe not even that long.
It seemed like yesterday.
Yeah, it did.
I'm ready to just continue them conversations.
I know we talked about a lot, man.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, catch us up. How was camp exposure? How the last few weeks? How has it progressed, or what have you done different? And
yeah, man, it's we've been good. We've been rolling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, a big part, of course, with our nonprofit side is just bringing in the funds.
Yep.
Right, getting the word out there, and then of course we're doing some things on the for-profit side, which is amazing. And so. Really, man, focus on finishing up a little fine tooling our curriculum to make sure that when we're ready to launch it, man, it's top notch. It's not much that we need to change. So that's been our big focus, man, over the last couple of weeks.
What's the fund name? So I mean, what's the goal?
What's the goal?
What's the goal of the fund? Right? Yeah. How much?
Oof.
Yeah.
Come on.
Unlimited, huh? Unlimited.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no goals, man.
Ain't no goal. We got to include the link on the episode to help out, man, because what you're doing is amazing.
I appreciate it.
And, that's why I said I wanted to catch up on what you're doing, right? Yeah. Because, camp exposure, once again, it is about helping build athletes from a young age and instilling it into them that they're more than an athlete, right? Leverage yourself in every way, right?
Yeah.
Become a balanced human being, mentally, physically, spiritually, athletically, right?
Holistic, yes, sir.
Holistic.
Yeah. So what you talk about, man, like we can easily operate off of $500,000, right? But when we talk about what we're trying to do and we're trying to expand to these different sports, different cities, you know what I'm saying? So that budget is going to grow.
It's going to grow.
So
what are you trying to do? Like, what is the ultimate vision?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you don't mind telling us.
Yeah, on the nonprofit side, man, what we have going is, of course, our educational sports camp. And so when we talk about, you talk about any type of seminar or event that you go to, and you have the workshops and the schedule of the events that you go to. Eventually, we want to get to a place where we're able to scale and expand our camp that we're doing to different cities, different sports, right? So we'll do a women's basketballs next, where we'll bring them in for 3 days, put them up in a hotel, and take them through those workshops centered around our 7 pillars. Right, and then, of course, on the academy side, our long-term vision with that is to start our own school, right? So when you think about IMG, kind of like that student-athlete school, it's the same approach that we want to take, right? But, of course, a little more focus on the faith side and, the professional development side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the true difference, is to focus on the professional development and the faith side. I mean, because IMG, I mean, they're about their business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Producing the best athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your goal is to not just do that, obviously do that,
Right.
but, help them become a holistic human being.
Oh, yeah. So you talk about that success. What does success look like for us compared to IMG? Like you said, IMG, they're putting kids into college by the droves, right?
Yep.
Our goal is, yes, we want to produce top-level athletes, right? But what happens when they transition?
Right.
That's going to determine if we're truly successul, right?
I love that.
These guys fall in the category of 80%, whatever the crazy statistic is, of athletes becoming broke, or guys dealing with mental health. Not to say that you won't deal with it, but understanding how to leverage it or how to manage it, how to deal with it,
Right.
and how to leverage all your resources. So that's going to be our true measure. You know what I mean? Yes, we love guys to be able to fulfill their dream and make it to that level, but we also understand that there's life after that.
And your, words, I guess, you would fail if you have an athlete just make it and then fail after, right?
Right.
Your goal is to really help them fly and succeed and become the next Tyler Patmon.
Right. Can become great men, you know what I'm saying, or great women. And so, a part of it, it's tough, man, because when you're dealing with youth, you understand you can feed them so much. But at one point, it has to click for them.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that balancement of understanding we got to feed them. And so that means, in order for us to be successful, we got to make sure we're doing our work on the back end. Are we doing everything that we can to truly connect with them? Are we making those sacrifices to make sure they understand instead of just throwing curriculum at them and say, read this?
Right.
Are we doing everything in our power for them to really have access and understanding of what we're trying to teach them? And then after that, a lot of it is kind of out of our hands, right? Like I said, they got to have that moment, that realization that, okay, this is what I need to do and this is how I do it. So as long as they say, hey, I'm going through that realization now, I know Camp Exposure fed me all this information. Now I know I can go back to it and I understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know you touched on your organization version of success, right?
Mm-hmm.
The objective of success. So what is your version of success? Like, how do you view success for yourself personally?
Oh, man, I talked about this with another guy, Rogers Healy, on his podcast, and man, I feel like the purpose in life for me is to help other individuals live in their purpose, right? So when we talk about living in your purpose, that starts out with finding your identity, right? If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who created you, if you don't know who you are beyond sports, since that's what we focus on, majority of athletes, then there's no way that you can truly find your purpose, I feel like, right? And that's something that, I look at as success for me, being obedient to that calling, right? So if I feel like the Lord is leading me to help individuals, whether it's athletes or non-athletes, discover their purpose and understand how to, operate at their, optimal performance, me doing that is success, right? If you get what I'm trying to say, like I can get all the metrics and the measurements and, we did A, B, and C. But the fact that I'm being obedient, I'm being diligent, and I'm doing it on a consistent basis, that's success. You know
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
I think that's the hardest thing.
It is.
Doing it on the consistent, to bring that same energy,
Right.
to bring that same passion day after day after day. That's what makes somebody great.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes somebody great. But kind of segueing into what, you do and how you're preparing people. I mean, I think it's an even hotter topic right now, right? And it ain't even really a hot topic. It's just real life.
Right.
And that was what happened to Damar Hamlin weeks ago in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
And now that Damar is okay, he's out of the hospital, he's healthy, but now reality is sitting in. They're out of the playoffs. They're done. He's at home right now.
Right.
He's like, man, world showed me love. They funded me. His nonprofit is fully funded. And it's like, hey, man, you know what? Another NFL team is probably not going to sign you based on what just happened to you. And that's just the fact of the matter.
He's still in his contract, though. Huh? He's still in his rookie contract.
And they're going to pay him through his rookie contract. That's what the word is. But he's dealing with that now. So how do you think someone like, Damar Hamlin, now that, it's just his career might be done now. He has his nonprofit funded.
But my thing, bro, the NFL's make it seem like he's about to return. Like he's gearing up for it.
Well, why wouldn't they make it sound like that? But who's going to really take that liability?
That's sick to me.
Why wouldn't they say that?
Gotta clear him.
Somebody's got to clear him.
Who's going to clear him?
And next year? You going to clear him in 6 months?
Right.
After something like that?
It's tough, man.
It's very tough.
I just look at the NFL a little different, how they using his name. Like we're all like really, really happy that he's okay. Everybody should be extremely grateful, feel this satisfaction of joy that come on you. And when they said that, he texted or he spoke, you know what I mean? Like
right.
Everybody was full of joy after that, And I think the biggest thing that it showed that that God is real. God really showed who he is, right? But I think what the NFL is doing now, and and this is my take on it, right? The NFL and what they doing now, and they using him as a full marketing campaign. To me, that's a little much. I don't think that like he deserved it though. I mean, man, what he went through on this field, he literally he lost his life for a second. So he deserved it.
Yep.
But I think the NFL they might not be doing it for right reasons, and that's my take on
that's
it.
A valid.
I don't know if they are.
That's
or
a
not.
valid point, right? It is like the build up.
All,
yeah.
I mean,
is
everything going to his foundation? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they selling a lot of stuff on it too.
Well, that was my other question. So it's like talking about how the NFL is approaching it, and then talking about what is Damar Hamlin dealing with. How do you move that?
Yeah.
What do you do with that money? How can you build from that?
What
right?
do you do mentally?
What do you do mentally?
Goodness gracious.
He immediately has to be like, whoa, I'm here.
Yeah. And so I mean, with the whole NFL thing, I definitely understand they're gonna leverage that.
Yeah.
It's the whole success story. You know what I'm saying? The movie clip story, man. Like, just think about with Ryan Shazier when he went through his ordeal. If he would have came back,
he walked again, and oh man,
yeah. If he would have ended up coming back and playing,
so why wouldn't they want him back on the field if they?
It ain't them. It's the 32 NFL owners. Because at the end of the day, they're responsible. That's the facts.
It's tough.
You got a whole business influencing something to happen, but it comes down to 32 people.
And then, another take on this too that I want us to think about, like, I know we touched on Damar Hamlin. He might not play again, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
The NFL policies, right? Our CBA that we all just signed on, that we all just passed, right? The players, we all passed it. The insurance, and I know you guys probably know them a little bit deeper than I do, but the one thing that I do know, because I'm in the healthcare industry, is that the NFL guys, we don't have lifetime insurance.
Right.
And honestly, it's probably no matter what the condition is. I know there's different, I know you can get like line of duty, and you can get like total and permanent and stuff like that.
And do you get for our insurance, I mean, do we get, what we pay, we can stay with the same insurance, but now it has to come out of our pocket.
It got to come out of your
For
pocket.
how much?
I think you might be
do
able
we get a
to use
discount? Yeah.
I don't know if you get a discount. But
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you
not
might
sure.
be able to use your HRA to fund it.
Oh, yeah.
You may be able to use that, but after that run out, he said you ass out.
You on your
know
own.
what I mean? You on your own.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm marrying my fiance. She a school teacher. Boom, we got insurance. You know what I'm saying? You got to think ahead. You got to stay a step ahead. No, but seriously though, it's scary.
It's
a scary thought.
Yeah, it's that's something that I'm coming up on, right? So next year my insurance goes out.
Is it 5 years?
Yeah, it's 5, right? So now I got 2 kids.
Is it after 5 years, all right?
It's after.
It's after 5 years.
Yeah.
Damn, you already time flew by that fast.
Yes, bro.
I remember watching you on Jacksonville.
It's crazy, bro. It flies by. You know what I mean?
That was 2018?
29? Was it 2018?
That was
2018.
Y'all made it.
2018 is in like 2
24
years ago because of COVID.
When I get so 19 to 24 should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. That's we're having kids now, wife. We're both entrepreneurs. Like you're saying, that's something that you start to think about is when you need it the most.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
so how to approach that and how to take care of yourself, that's what we need to learn about right when we come into the league, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about preparation, especially on the financial literacy side, how do you make sure you're set up when this time is up, when you no longer getting that $25,000 to $75,000 check, once a week or every other week?
Yeah.
Then what do? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I don't believe it's pushed hard enough. Right.
Yeah.
Of course we have little, sessions as rookies and all that, but it needs to be extremely pushed, bro.
And what does a $25,000 to $75,000 check feel like after ball? It feels way different, don't it?
Definitely.
It's like, damn, I did that shit.
Yeah.
I got that. But when you was playing, it was like, man, I only had 1 tackle this week. Like, whatever, I'm going to get the check. You know what I'm saying? And it feel different. And so, back to the insurance. It's just like we don't appreciate necessarily the situation to educate ourselves enough. Because if we appreciated it enough, we just expected it. Just like we just expected to play for 10 years and be in the NFL, period, right? And so it's just a subject that we don't talk about because people just don't know about.
Yeah. Man, one thing that's stuck on my mind, what you said is when you needed it the most. Like now it's make me seem like it make me feel like it was almost intentionally set up like that. You know, guys when they retire, right? What's the lifespan of the NFL player?
The average.
It's
like maybe 2.5.
2.5 years, right? So you get in the league at 22 or 21.
Yep.
You done at 24,
yep.
right? You know what I mean? You probably not gonna have kids. Or you might have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 30 is like the age to where you have kids. So if you done at 24, your insurance lasts 5 years. After you're out the league, that take you up to 29.
Well, do you have to be vested first? Do you have to be vested to get the insurance?
You do have to be
vested.
You got to be vested. Insurance.
It's a business model.
Then you have to be vested, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if you don't have kids while you're in the league, you're not even really benefiting. Like the majority of that insurance lifespan, you're not getting the full benefits of it. You know?
Right.
And this is something that we don't even think about I didn't think about this as a player.
Right.
I didn't. I voted yes on that CBA. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I did.
Yes.
But now I look back at it now when I'm not playing, and I'm like, fuck.
The only people that voted no was the people that had millions of dollars in the bank.
The reason why I voted yes is because it was COVID. It was in the middle of COVID, and, like, bro, we needed to play.
We needed to play.
Yeah. I was a free agent still at the standpoint.
Lockout. You say a lockout. I got kids to feed, right?
You feel me?
And so.
But it's sad that, like, that, bro, I had a business at the time. I could have been easily locked out.
Yeah.
But it's sad that we still, see the world like that.
No, that's interesting take because you do think about it. Like you said, you're 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, exiting the league. Mm-hmm. You're still a healthy, young individual that just came off of working out every single day. What you really need insurance for, right? Unless something just happens, right? But
right.
You know what I'm saying? It comes down to the point when you need insurance, when your kids have to go to the doctor every other month, right? When your wife gets pregnant and needs to go to the hospital.
Man.
That's when,
I need to have kids right now then because I got 2 years left. I need to get it in.
That's why I'm knocking them out.
Yeah, I need to get it in. We got to get through that first couple years under that insurance.
Yeah. I got a baby coming in 4 weeks.
Oh,
we
man.
Go back to back.
Give me 4 weeks.
I'm going to give her shit. I'm going to give her her little 3 months to heal, and we back at it.
Oh, my God.
No.
He said, oh, man. But no, like, I just thought about that, especially with getting back to, the insurance policies and how we don't know how it works. But, like, someone just thrust it into that right now. It's like, how does a nonprofit organization work to where he could just take that to the next level? How do you even can he make money through that? How does that work?
What do you mean exactly?
So it's like he's funded, right?
Who are you talking about,
Damar.
Okay.
Can he touch those funds directly back to Damar Hamlin?
See, the problem is I don't know how that website works. So I don't know if he had to set up like a 501c3 and put it on the account and then that money is going directly to a nonprofit, or if he just put his name on the account and he can write whatever it's called, and now that money is just going.
You think
to
that website getting a percentage of it or something?
I think they have to.
Yeah.
And so that's the issue. GoFundMe, I don't know if they require you to be a 501c3. So that means if not, he can do whatever he wants with that money.
Okay.
Now,
but if it
is a 501c3, there's rules and regulations that come in play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so he can't just be, loose with that money and do whatever he wants. So hopefully he has somebody in his corner that knows exactly what he needs to do and how to set it up. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, if he wants to say, hey, and that's what I think he needs a moment of silence, bro. Sit down. Like, I know he probably doing tours and all this.
Man, they asking him, bro. Oh, yeah.
He probably going crazy. He need a moment just to sit down, bro. Like, what do I really want to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do I really want to go out and play again? Risk whatever the risks are. I don't know what they telling them, but, yeah, bro, that can get very, very dangerous.
Yes.
If he doesn't have the right people around him to direct him on what to do with that money.
Yeah. But is it like
that's a lot of money?
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
What, 10 million? Was it 10 million?
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
$10 million?
Probably went up more.
Probably at 20 mil right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And he got out the hospital, and a week later, he's sitting in a suite in Buffalo Stadium. It's a great story, but at the same time, he ain't had no chance to really just be in silence.
Oh,
Just sit back and reflect.
I mean, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, it's you gotta capitalize for a great cause and for your own life, celebrating his life, right? But at the same time, it's like you got to take time to yourself after something like that.
And I am the one take that I really want us to also, always shed light on is that, man, God is good on that. Man, God showed who he was.
The power of prayer is real.
Man, I forget the dude's name, but he was literally praying on SportsCenter.
Oh yeah,
I was
Ryan
like,
Clark.
Was it Ryan?
It was. Was it not Ryan Clark?
No,
I forgot who it was.
We gonna find out and we gonna put it in the bottom of the
Yeah, we gonna put the link.
Yeah.
We gonna put the link, but literally praying on SportsCenter, and it was.
Yeah, I
but
remember
you've never seen that before.
Nope.
You've never seen that
Yeah.
before. Because we're not. Like.
Was it Dan Orlovsky, the quarterback, white dude?
Yep.
Yeah, on NFL Live.
Yep.
It was Dan Orlovsky. Yeah.
It was so fire.
Yep.
It was so fire. And that was the biggest thing that I took on it. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
Right.
I hope he got the right people around him to help him with, manage that and do right. It is a lot of money. The next thing that I want to touch on as well, though, that is very, very similar to Damar Hamlin is, and this may be a touchy one for us too because he is still playing, is Tua. Tua had a lot of surgery.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of, not surgeries, but he had a lot of concussions. He had a lot of concussions.
In the same field at Damar, by the way.
And the one thing that we know, right? The one thing that we know is that you can replace anything on your body. You can get an artificial heart. You can get somebody else. Well, you can get somebody else's heart.
Right amount of money,
But you can get somebody else's heart.
right.
I feel that, but you can't do the brain swap.
But you can't get somebody else's brain. You know what I mean? So like, I played with Tua, bro. I played with him. Them hits that he's taking is not like crazy hard hits. It's like hits that, like, he fall on his back and his head just hit the ground. You know what I mean?
His head smacking the ground. Yeah.
Like, it seems like that he can't avoid those. Like, it's nothing that he can do to avoid them.
Right.
If it was me, I wouldn't be playing no more if my brain is getting messed up, bro. So, I mean, I really want to know y'all take on this. I know this one is a little bit more touchy because he is actively playing still. He does have to truly make a realistic decision.
Yeah.
And DeMar do too, but his a little bit more clear.
Well, with Tua, I know what you're saying because with Tua, there comes expectations.
Exactly.
He was a first-round quarterback. Came in the middle of the game in the national championship for Jalen Hurts, who's in the Super Bowl. Shout out to Jalen Hurts for overcoming adversity.
But he has expectations on himself too.
Well, I was just giving the build-up of him 100%. Coming in, national championship, Alabama, going through the hip injury, now first-round pick to Miami Dolphins, right? And they had so many expectations. He was living up to them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, time after time, if you go into a real problem like a brain injury, it's like, what do you do? His identity is football.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I really wanted to bring this question up with you because his identity is football. So, like, what's your take on that? If you don't mind expanding.
I think first it's easy for us to sit back and say that he shouldn't play. You know what I'm saying? But if we take our 23-year-old self and put ourselves in their same shoes, football has brought us a lot of financial success, but at the end of the day, what I miss the most is just going out and playing the game, bro. I loved playing football, you know what I'm saying, and I loved dominating when I was on the field, you know what I'm saying. And so for a young guy to his first year struggled a little bit, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to come back and start to ball.
I played with him that year too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting. Like that excitement is coming back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm balling. I know he's supposed to be Christ-centered too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but that's another story. But
he what?
He's a believer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
big
big Christian athlete. Yep.
Yeah. And so just that whole mindset of, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I love to do. And I have to make the decision if I want to play again or not. It's not that easy just to say.
Especially that young. And it's the trials that he went through. He was down and out, man, Tua, this and that. And then he has major success. And he's probably getting that love off the field. He's probably getting that love from a lot of different people, and that affects you. We don't know his personal life.
Yeah.
But to me, it's more about what is he going to do, probably in his own head. What is he going to do without the game of football that he didn't get to truly live out as a quarterback? Because, I mean, that's probably the safest position, kicker, other than kicker. But seriously, maybe he feels like he's not ready yet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand
Even though
what y'all saying.
Yeah.
I completely understand what y'all saying.
Yep.
You know, and if I was in his shoes, who knows what decision I'm making? I'm telling y'all my perspective now, like where I'm at now, right? And where I'm at now, if I was in his shoes now, the NFL, y'all can see me later. Like, you know what I mean, bro? I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Bro, you know, we know how powerful your brain is. You know what I mean?
He should be done. Somebody in his family, his dad
Somebody in his family needs to come and be like, hey, like,
yep.
Bro, you do not want to be like these, like, bro, CTE is a real thing. You know, who knows how it really get, you know, activated? Is it because we struggle transitioning off the field? You know what I mean? Is it because we deal with some emotional issues and stresses and stuff off the field that really activates it?
All that's
we know it's a real
for.
thing.
All that.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
We know it's a real
It's
thing.
real.
Yeah.
It's real.
So, like, to have that much traumatic, but you showing signs and symptoms, and it's back to back to back. You got to take into account, and I don't think he is, you know. And I respect, you know, I see his perspective, and I see y'all perspectives, and like why he wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because if I was 23, I probably wouldn't either. But
right.
But me being a little older now, me actually understanding how important your brain is now, you know.
You kind of got to see your career through in some sense. And so for Tua, it's like I truly honestly feel like he's going to try to play because he's going to have to see this through, because if he decides to stop playing for his health, that is a beautiful thing because your health is first and foremost. But at the end of the day, he has to live with what he put on the field, and he might not be happy with that. Yeah. And sometimes you sacrifice. You know how football players are.
I feel that.
Sometimes they're like, man, I'll die for this shit. Kobe said that shit. He said, I want to die young because I'll be forever immortalized. He said that. Some people live for this, and you never know what Tua's mindset is like. He's like, man, I want to do it. I want to prove it to people. At the same time, I'm going to honor God while doing it, and I still have a purpose and a mission. I honestly think Tua will be fine off the field, but I think he has some other shit to prove.
Yeah, and I think, like what we talking about with the Damar case and Tua, you start to realize the importance of the people that you have around you. Because sometimes we can get in that headspace. I've been in that headspace.
Right.
We on a crash course.
Right.
You know, and we got tunnel vision. We can't see
You
nothing
think you're doing it on your own. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so having those people around you that can be like, look, bro, listen, this is you. If you don't stop playing ball, this is what it's going to look like. Right. And sometimes it needs to be a person like one of us that have been in the game. We understand the transition. We played. We have that certain type of relationship player to player. Right. Sometimes it might need to be an old head that's been in your life for 20 years that you know has your best interest. And so having that circle, bro, of those different voices that you can listen to in order to make a rational decision, like, okay, if my dad is saying, you know what I'm saying, maybe I should walk away. If my pastor is saying you really need to think about the effects that this is going to have on you, you know what I'm saying? If I'm thinking of how this can affect my kids in the future.
Yeah, because he just had a kid too.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know he just had a kid too.
Having the right voices, bro.
You know what? I seen an interview of him actually saying how being a dad is the best thing in the world. I do remember him saying that.
Bro, and I fuck with Tua though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He seems so
I fuck with Tua
genuine.
as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I used to go in their rookie locker room and just talk shit to all of them all the time.
What kind of guy are you, man? Going into the rookies, the
bro,
bully.
I'm chilling with them, but it's not like I'm bullying and I'm hazing them and shit like that. No, I'm talking shit like I'm vibing, you know, because me and Brandon Jones was real close.
You're building relationships.
I'm building relationships.
You're building relationships.
Summed it up.
I just fucking with you. I know what you do.
But Tua a good dude. Like, I fuck with him as a person. You know,
from your personal relationship, do you think he'll walk away?
No. I mean, and just simply what you guys said.
Yeah.
You know, I think he should.
Yeah.
I think he should because I know what's after football. I know how great life is after football. Or what you can do just from being a football player and what you learn by playing football this long and making it to the top level, I know how easy. I mean, it's hard for us to transition, right? It's hard for us mentally to transition, but I know we have the traits and the qualities to be able to transition. You know what I'm saying? If we really put our mind to it, we put our mind to make it to the top
of the 1%.
Of the 1%.
Yep.
You know, and the shit that we put our bodies through, the stuff that we had to play through injuries. I played through the labrum injury 2 years back to back. You know what I mean? Had surgery the next year. I played through a broken foot. You know.
Yep.
So if you can do that with your body, you know, what can't you do in the business world? You know, and I know Tua is a smart dude. He can hop in the entrepreneur world and be in the business world and make some shit happen. He play quarterback.
He's a leader.
He's a Heisman. He's a quarterback.
He's a leader.
He's good for life, bro.
Top tier.
You know what I'm saying?
He's solid, bro.
Connections. Yeah.
He's solid.
And so, I mean.
So that's all. That's my take on it. You know what I mean? But it's from my perspective now, from his perspective of where he's at, because all of us been there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say that I would stop playing at that perspective, but my advice now would be like, yo, it's you know, it's a lot more.
Well, maybe he'll consider it more
after
now that he has a kid. His podcast, we need to get him on the podcast. Yeah. but it's like, okay, so segueing into our next topic, but it's all relevant.
Yeah.
He has a kid now.
He does.
He has somebody to look after, to mold, and so that all goes into the work and family balance, you know? And so it's like, you know, how much are you willing to sacrifice your body knowing you have a whole family now to take care of your own, you know, not your brother, not your dad, like your blood and flesh that you created, right?
Yeah.
And so how important it is to set aside time for your family and work and never get too consumed with one or the other, you know what I'm saying? Because you get too consumed with family, you know, it's like, hey, I'm glad you guys are happy, but, you know, at the same time, you got to build something for you guys to, you know, be comfortable, right? Build a foundation for your family, build a legacy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you let that, you know, consume you, your family and your home life could get wrecked. Mm-hmm. It's a fine balance because at the end of the day, what really matters? Your family.
Right.
So how did you balance it when you played and now that you're out? You know, what is it?
I would say when I was playing, I didn't have a balance.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how to balance. My mind was work. That's all I knew. That's how you know, I made it in the league. You know, I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the fastest, not the strongest, but you ain't gonna outwork me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So everything that I did was about that. And at the time, you know, me and my wife, of course, were just boyfriend, girlfriend. So, you know what I'm saying? She was actually, y'all need to get her on the podcast. She played in the WNBA.
Let's do it.
And
so that's hard.
We both were in our professional careers.
Yeah.
And so it really wasn't that hard of a balance with that end.
Time out. How did y'all meet, man? WNBA player, NFL player. How did it?
She went to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
You know, so I played my last year at Oklahoma State. We didn't meet at Oklahoma State, but I knew of her. That's how I figured out who she was. And then like a year later, bro, we had a financial guy that we both was, you know, working with. And he was at the club one time with her or something.
Yeah.
And they, like, FaceTimed me.
Yeah. She was probably like, man, you know Tyler Patmon, he kind of cute. And then they just FaceTimed you.
Story, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was trying to see
what's going on with you.
I had told him, I think I had told him about her.
Okay.
So when they saw each other, he was like, oh, yeah, I was talking to, you know. She's like, oh, okay. So he FaceTimed me, you know, trying to show love, trying to put me on. So that's how it happened.
So your financial advisor?
Yeah.
He put you on?
Man,
he's still your financial advisor?
No, we more like friends now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
okay, at least y'all still cool, man. If you
dropped showing love. He was really showing, like, he wasn't charging us or nothing, but he was teaching us the game.
Yeah.
And so,
well, that's cool that she was a professional athlete. You're a professional athlete. So that work balance was probably a lot more easier for you.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, but I will say the area that I fell short on is with the rest of my family. And that gets hard, bro.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, extended family. For me, my grandma, my grandpa, I lived with them like the first half of my life, first 7 years of my life. And so they were kind of like an extended parent. Of course, my father was there, my mother, and so my stepmother. And so, you know, trying to find that balance, bro, of spending time with your people. Of course, doing other things for them that we can talk about
Man,
another
that's tough.
time.
Yep.
It's tough, bro.
Yep.
It's tough because I would say it's tough, but it's not tough because all it really takes is being intentional. You know what I'm saying? And you learn that once you get a little older. You don't have to spend, days with them, spending time with them, but it's just about when you're with them, be with them.
Right.
I
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
Be where you are.
And
Being present.
That's the hard
Be where
part
your
for
feet
us.
is.
That's
Yeah.
the hard part for us because now, of course, we got these and we're always on them.
Man.
We're always thinking about what's next for our career. Our minds, I feel like, I'm sure you guys are the same way. Our minds are always going,
It's rolling.
going.
Yeah.
And so it's hard sometimes. And my wife, she gets on me about this all the time. When you like you said, when you present, be present, right? The kids see it. You know what I mean? And I was reading something the other day. It's talked about, if you want your kids to read, have your kids, let them see you reading.
You got to do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
So-
they'll even play read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if my daughter is always seeing, even if I'm reading on my phone,
Yeah.
she don't see me reading. She see me on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just about, man, again, like we said, just being in that space, being in that time, and truly cherishing those moments. You know what I'm saying? So like a couple years ago, I lost my grandma, who was like a mother to me.
Damn,
and
I'm
so,
sorry about that, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. But it's just those moments that you want back, right?
Yes.
And that you can just sit in
Yes.
and appreciate. And so that was a big change for me transitioning out the league because I looked back, bro. I was probably 28. I looked back and I said, bro, where did my 20s go? Like, it was like that.
Yeah.
And, I really made the decision at that age, like, bro, I'm going to make sure I'm intentional with every single day that I get now. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that, I'm happy that I was able to realize and start to do, because now, like, my daughter's about to be 2 next week, and it feels like she's been around for 4 years. And I feel like the part of that is because I've been intentional, you know what I'm saying, spending that time with her and that time that I get with her. So, but yeah, bro, it's a tough balance, I'm sure.
Yeah, man, that really hit me, and what you said, just being present. It hit me hard right now, right? Because obviously, bro, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of things going on. Like we have, I have my main business, APEC, and then we also have the podcast. And we have the media company. We have the nonprofit. Like we have a lot of stuff going on, right? But at the same time, like, and my wife is a stay-at-home mom. So, my balance isn't 50-50, and it's tough to, it's almost impossible to make your balance 50-50, especially when you're the sole provider for the family. I think it's not even a real thing of being 50-50. Because I know on our last one I said, like, everybody say 50-50, but it's not even about that. It's we're one. We're one. You know what I mean? So I think people really have to make it fit for them. But also, I think it's a big, it hit me hard right now because my uncle, he about to pass away. It's my great uncle. And he got pancreatic cancer. He denied this treatment, though. He's been, he's 70, no, I'm tripping, 97. 97 years old.
He said
he's a
said
pastor.
it's time.
He's a pastor.
He denied his treatment.
And other people in my family, because when he's been around, I haven't been very present, right? And this is me being vulnerable right now. I haven't been very present. He's a pastor, so, he's not judgmental. I don't want to speak bad about him and say he's judgmental, but he's his like if I'm eating with my hands, he don't fuck with that. You know what I mean?
Old school.
Yeah,
He's super old school,
but it's so dope now as I'm looking back. As I'm looking back
he
now.
hold those principles.
And I wish I would have cherished those times with them, right? So I think that's dope that you said be present, because now, I'm telling my family, hey, like, we really have to take into account how we're being with people. Like, a lot of us, if we're struggling or if we're in survival mode, we love to interject our, what we're dealing with on other people.
Sure.
And we love to tell what we're dealing with. But you don't know what that person who you telling is dealing with.
Right.
And I feel like my uncle was that dude who, like, he's a pastor, so everybody interjecting what they dealing with and stuff. And he just came up with cancer. Denied the treatment. Was like, hey, it's time for me to go see God, it's time for me to go where I belong. And I think that's so dope. But all of us need to, like, instead of like being sad and spending his time crying when we around him, shit, I'm about to go back home. You know what I'm
celebrate
saying?
his life.
Yeah, I'm about to go back home and celebrate
Mm-hmm.
and being around him. He gave me like 5 books last time I seen him.
Wow.
I'm about to ask for the rest.
Yeah.
I want all of them.
Yeah,
You know what I
chop
mean?
it up.
And you got to have some sort of peace knowing, especially, I mean, he is 97. You have to have some sort of peace saying, hey, I think I did everything that I could have did.
I think the biggest piece was
world.
that he denied the treatment.
Yeah.
He denied the
for
cancer
sure.
treatment.
And but seriously, if he would,
fired,
it is.
You know,
He's like, it's my
mindset,
bro. It's like you walking away from the league at your own turn.
Yep.
You know, obviously it's not. You know,
Yeah.
But you walking away at your own turn. It's like, yo, it's my time. I'm ready. I think that shit's fire.
It is.
I wanted to touch, man. I just wanted to touch on that, man.
Yeah.
But you know, as you know, expanding off of the family, you know, and the balance and stuff like that. Like, what's your take on, like, you know, I feel like a lot of the biggest thing in this world right now is that, you know, this is my take, is that we struggling with masculinity, right? I think that our society is really, really at a tough spot with it.
Yeah.
You know, and knowing you know, in our conversations last time,
Yeah.
I really want to use this time to expand off of that a little bit, because that goes hand in hand with family and balance and stuff. Because, like, for me, like, you know, I consider myself, and who knows, alpha, is it a bad thing or not? Like, people, but I consider myself as that, you know, as, you know, if it's a decision that need to be made, I'm going to make it, you know?
For sure.
But I feel like our society is trying to bring men down, bring women up as far as the masculinity standpoint.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
I think there's two viewpoints on this that a lot of people don't talk about, right? We talk about the old masculinity in the back in the day, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, women are supposed to do this. They don't do nothing else. I'm a man. I do this. Like, this is how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a little toxic. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people, when we talk about masculinity, they kind of see back into the past, and they see that.
Right.
Like,
right.
of men beating women and trying to keep them in their place. And that's not what we talking about when we talk about masculinity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. There's a difference between a man taking care of his household, leading his wife, right? There's an order, okay? And we respect that order, and that's biblical. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we got to make sure as men that we're respecting our women.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a I feel like it's not a thin line, but it can be a thin line of toxic masculinity and masculinity. There's a difference.
Yep.
And I think a lot of time that gets blurred, right? And so, of course, me as the man in my marriage, I'm here to lead my wife, to lead my family,
100%.
to make those decisions. But at the same time, you know what I'm going to do when I have to make a decision?
You're going to ask your wife.
I'm going to consult my wife.
Yes.
Right? What you think about this? Right? Because I need her to be that voice of reason sometimes. Like we talked about.
That's fire.
How we get in that tunnel vision. Sometimes I need her to tap me on the shoulder like, listen, you tripping. Like, calm down. Now, at the same time, at the end of the day, she can consult me, but I'm still going to make that decision.
Yeah.
It's just on me.
And
if
she
I'm
should
gonna
confide
listen or
in you
Most
and
definitely.
trust you. That is the best decision for the family.
Decision for the family, bro.
Yes.
So you see how that balance is there, but it can easily get twisted if I say I'm not worried about what you're saying right now.
Now that's
just that instant, it became toxic.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Compared to, babe, I get what you're saying, but I need you to see it from this viewpoint.
And you break it down to her.
Break it down.
And why you're doing it.
Exactly. Right. And then like I said, it's just an order, bro. So everything we talk about, I can talk about with her. We discuss it as a family, and then I take it to the Most High. And he the final consultant.
Yep.
I can take it to wise counsel, those around me that I know, right? But at the end of the day, when I get that information, I got to take it back to him.
Yep.
Take it to my wife, then I take it to him.
And it was like that from the beginning of time.
Right.
You know, my take on it, from the beginning of time, it was always the caveman time. The man goes out with his spear and he brings back dinner, right? And I know as time has went on, we've gotten to the point where there's single women and they are successful and they are smart and they are leaders. But that don't mean, guess what? All those single leader business women, you know, I don't know if this is a secret or not, but they're looking for a man to come over there and swoop them up. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a man to come over there and say, baby, hey, boom, I got this.
Right.
And they love that shit. And so to me, it comes down to having exactly what you said. When you have a balance, at the end of the day, the man is the head of the household. Now, I think a lot of that is being changed, right, with our society, especially in America. There's a lot of single moms who are strong that are playing both figures now, the father and the man. Our music, our culture, 10 baby mamas, 14 how many baby mamas can you have? You know what I'm saying? And so it's our culture too. But at the end of the day, it's not taken away from the woman at all. They are strong, successful. But when you form a team, at the end of the day, from the beginning of time, the man has been the head of the household, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to take that away from any side, right? But that's just how it's been. Yep. And you can form a strong, my fiance, I respect and I need her opinion. Mm-hmm. Anything I do, I won't say anything I do because sometimes I make executive decisions. And most of the time she's like, you right. Yeah. She gets it. Yeah. But if I really think I need to consult her, I'll be like, what you think? And honestly, 50% of the time, I might change my decision because I'm like, you know what? You brought up a very valid point. So I like it. And then when I go with what she thinks, that gives me even more confirmation and even more room to make executive decisions without her because she's like, you know what? I know you always consider me, and I do every single time. But I'll tell her. Now, if I don't agree with her on something, I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is why. She might be pissed. Weeks, months go by. She's like, damn, you were right.
She got to trust you.
There it is. She's got to trust. It's all about a building trust, trustful relationship.
Yeah. And then what you're talking about is a Proverbs 31 woman, right? And so I'll just let people just go and read that. But ain't nothing wrong with a woman that's doing a successful business or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like we said, bro, it just gets blurred. It gets super blurred. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And a lot of it has to do, like you said, with our culture, just with the society, what society has brought, bro. Like, we can talk about all the songs that, that have came out.
And that's why I'm glad you brought that up. Hold on. Let's just get into it, man. And I brought it up for a reason. Yeah. So the most recent topic has been, Ja Morant, apparently he was in Indianapolis, or Indianapolis was in town, whatever. He's hanging out with his boys, and somebody rolled down the window and put a red laser on somebody, right? Like, he living that type of life, and he a hooper, right? He just signed a $200 million contract, just took Kyrie's spot on the Nike pedestal, right? But at the end of the day, why is he acting that way or being influenced that way? So there was actually a clip that I have the link to, of Danny Green, a vet in that locker room, right? One of the only vets in that Memphis Grizzlies locker room. And Shannon Sharp was actually on his show. What's the show on Fox? Undisputed. He was on Undisputed saying that they need a vet in that room, you know. And multiple people said they need a vet in that room. Danny Green's a vet. And he said, this was before all this happened. He said, man, coming in as a vet, I could tell I'm getting old, but man, everything I hear in that locker room is NBA young boy this, NBA young boy that, NBA. And so you look at NBA young boy, and just a week ago a video came out and he was trembling, speaking about how he couldn't believe how his music has influenced this type of violence, this type of reckless behavior, right? He was trembling, bro. And so is that real? Is that real?
I think it's real because, like, if you really look, obviously.
He's in a Utah mansion saying this.
I need to see execution. Right. I need to see execution. Yeah. I need to see, like, what's next for him.
Right.
But, like, it was almost like I took it from this perspective. I think it was Billboard who came out with the video.
Yeah, I think
it was. Yeah. And it was a video. It was like a 6-minute long video. And it was one clip that was only talking about what his music did for the kids. And we'll pull it and we'll put the video and the link on the YouTube page and stuff like that. But it talked about what, like, his music is doing to, like, kids and, like, and stuff. And he was, like, shaking. But I think the sad part of it is they only showed, like, the first couple seconds of him shaking, and then they went to, like, just having everything else in the background, his house and and all that other shit. But like, this dude was literally like shaking, was like, yo, I'm done with that. You know, he was like, bro, my music, this what my music done to these kids, and like just shaking, like saying it. And I think that, man, you can't fake that.
You can't fake that.
You can't fake
I mean, my little cousin, we was actually in Cabo this past summer for my uncle's wedding. And we was just, we just talking, he's in 8th grade, about to be in 9th grade. We was just talking about all kind of things. And I said, who you listen to? Cause we was in the car headed. And he was like, my favorite artist is NBA Youngboy. It was like, you listen to him? Oh, he got the clip. Yeah, so he's trembling saying that. But no, when my cousin, no, you're fine. No, I'm glad you played that. But when my cousin talked about that, he's like, NBA Youngboy, you listen to him? And I said, you know what? I don't. It ain't because I ain't cool, because I don't relate. I don't relate to none of the shit he's talking about, and I don't want to. And so I was kind of confused on how how this 13, 14-year-old related, bro. You don't relate to that, bro.
He doesn't.
What? And so it's like it really like has me wondering what we're pushing out, and then for him to come out and say that, nobody made him say that. No. Why would he say that? It hurts his image.
Yeah,
that hurts his music, right?
No, I definitely. When I think about it, he might not understand, because again, he's a young guy too.
Super young.
He didn't understand. He didn't understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we don't understand at that age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, for him to come out and say that, that's a lot. It means a lot, but what are your actions after? Like you said,
what is your actions?
Big time.
And it also is different because he's made it to the absolute top, right? But it's the way he did it too. He probably he just got married.
What?
He just got married. He's doing a lot of different things. He's starting to realize.
He said after he's done with house arrest, he about to join a Mormon church. That's one thing.
And it also comes off a little weird that he's doing this to the extreme so fast. It comes off a little different.
It is.
But at the same time, it might have just smacked him. Who knows?
And that's something we got to understand, bro. Like when it's these type of dudes, there's always some other people in play. You know what I'm saying? Like, did somebody make him do that? Is this a publicity stunt? Does he really mean it from the heart? I hope he does. I hope he really means it and starts to understand it. But just the level he's on, and just, the things that I've heard from the music industry, there's a lot that goes into it, bro.
Yeah.
And of course we know that, we understand that it's more than just the physical. That has to do with spiritual too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But he's not the first either. Lil Baby mentioned it too. Lil Baby talked about how it's like, man, he's raising his son.
Kanye exposed everything. And I don't want to talk about
Kanye was always different.
He was.
Kanye came up different though.
He exposed everything.
Yeah, Kanye came up a little different. But yeah, Kanye was like, that's a whole different. Kanye's different.
I believe Kanye was the first one that was big enough to talk about it that people actually listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like people talk, it's always kind of like the woke crowd, the woke rappers.
Woke crowd, yeah.
But everybody kind of look at them like they lame or they whack, like, you know what I'm saying? But I know as us getting older, like, I used to listen to Lil Wayne. Like, that was,
man, what?
Go-to.
Who didn't?
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, once I got older, it actually took me, like, taking a month fast from, like, rap music, period. And then you just start listening to it different.
Man, I'm doing it right now.
And it's like, bro, like, what am I listening to, bro?
Yep.
It's in your subconscious.
Yeah, bro, and it affects you.
Whether you know it, it affects you, your moves.
Man, I only listen to Drake and Rick Ross. That's
because they talk about leveling up.
You like Rick Ross because the business.
Hey,
bro, Rick Ross.
My homeboy love Rick Ross.
I fuck with Rick Ross.
Yeah, Rick Ross.
His book was a little weak to me. 50 Cent book was fire. So I should have read his book before I read Rick Ross' book.
50 Cent book was fire?
I should have read Rick Ross' book before I read 50 Cent book. But I read 50 Cent's first and then went to Rick Ross'.
And that mother was like that?
And it was trash. And compared to 50 Cent book.
Yeah.
I was comparing it.
I was comparing both business books?
Yeah, they both business books, but 50 Cent really give you business principles. Yo, man,
yeah.
What's the name of the book?
Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Yeah. And 50 Cent is one of those once-in-a-lifetime artists that turn into entrepreneur. And even Drake in his music. I mean, in his latest album, he says somebody went and bought a house for they went and bought a verse. Imagine if I did that dumb shit when I was coming up. And what that means is bruh, invest in your business. Go and get me on the track.
Yes.
I'm going to blow you up and then go get
love
everything else, bruh.
Yeah.
Imagine if and it's like his plane flew in the Hamptons. They didn't have stairs big enough. I want to listen to shit like that because it's kind of like I'm leveling up, bruh.
Right.
Like So it's like there's certain artists that I can listen to, right? And there's certain songs that I can listen to. But for the most part, this whole month, I talked to Kay about it. It's been nothing but reading, podcasts, and the Word.
Yeah.
I'll play the Word on my Sirius radio.
Yeah.
Yep, 50
That's
Cent
good.
book though. Don't read the book. Listen to the audiobook.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna think you in power. You know, you listening to
Yeah.
to
I'ma
a
check it
power
out.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
dope.
But it's
gosh.
all about business. It's so fire.
Oh yeah.
And
so
I
fire.
implemented some of his principles literally the week I listened to
Yep.
it. Some came across and I was like,
Oh yeah.
well, shit, I know exactly what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Because 50 Cent been through this. Like, but no,
dope,
man. Man. No, okay. Guess what time it is, bro? It's about that time. It's about that time. It's hot take time.
Oh.
You seen I changed it.
the
You seen I changed the light. So my hot take. My hot take. It's always off topic. It's always random.
Okay.
So the NFL right now, I'm going to get back to the NFL. We all have that in common. They're having active conversations about banning the hip drop tackle, right? Because we've seen Patrick Mahomes get hurt off of that. We've seen Tony Pollard go out with a broken leg. So the hip drop is when you wrap around the waist and you kind of fall down, let your whole weight just bring them down, and you usually land on somebody's leg. Like, what do you think about that? I'm not a defender. I'm a running back. Please ban the hip drop tackle, right? Like, that's some bullshit. But what do y'all think as DBs? Like, is that something that you actually – is that a move that you actually, like, can you avoid that? Like –
Okay. Kay he built a little different than me. Okay?
Yeah.
But I want you to imagine me trying to tackle Ezekiel Elliott,
Yep.
Derrick Henry,
Saquon Barkley, somebody with some weight. Nick Chubb.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I got to get it done, right?
By any means.
So however I got to get that man to the ground, I got to get him to the ground.
That's all you think about.
That's all you got time to think about.
Yep.
It happens that fast.
Yep.
I can't think about left shoulder into his groin. Oh, I see his groin right there. Let me boom. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
I got to make a tackle.
You got to tackle him.
Quick, because,
Yep.
again, we talking about top-level athletes, bro. And all it takes is that split second for them to change directions, to stiff arm you, you know what I'm saying, to do a lateral, whatever the case may be, bro. And so I get it. They're trying to protect players, and they've done everything they can to protect quarterbacks. Every single thing they can. And so when you talk about in the field of play, bro, it's split-second decisions, bro, that we can control, but at the same time, it's a reaction. I might be coming off a press, see a guy coming on a crossing route, and I got to take one step and tackle.
Yeah. You ain't thinking about, like, oh, hold on. Let me not land on his ankle.
Like,
You're not
He
thinking
just
about
gave
it.
some elite football terminology right there.
He did. He did. That's why I knew that would be a great hot take to
it's-
have with Tyler in the house.
At the-
Man, but
Go ahead,
yeah,
man.
what you
No, I
what
was
you
just
gonna
going to say at the end of the day, we just got to realize it's a violent sport.
Yeah.
It's part of the risk, bro.
You
It's
signed
part
up
of
for
it.
that.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I understand on the defensive side, if a running back is coming to me and he's trying to protect himself and he lowers his head, he's trying to protect himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the same thing both ways, bro. So
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, that rule is going to get defensive players hurt. You know,
that's tough, bro.
Even not laying on the
it's going to
quarterback.
get defensive players hurt.
Yeah.
Because, like, we can't go into a tackle. I can't go into hitting somebody thinking about how I'm, like what's the right angle or, like, what not to do.
Yep.
I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I was unfortunate to have many injuries, right, by hitting people. You know, I think they would have been a lot more severe if I was going into that tackle, thinking, you know.
Like how you was going to hit him.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
how, you know what I'm saying? How
Meanwhile,
you play,
as a
you
running
can't
back,
play
I'm
like
just
that.
going to dip my shoulder every time.
Yeah, because all you're doing is thinking about dipping your shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, I
Even-
got to think
yeah.
about, okay, I can't tackle him from the back. Hey, pause. I can't
fall on him.
You know, I can't hit him high. Shit, I damn near can't hit him low. You know what I mean?
A perfect window, bro. Like,
Yeah, no, it's getting ridiculous, bro.
It's getting bad.
That's why I had to bring it up. It's getting ridiculous because honestly, even as an offensive player, I can't even.
Can't even.
You
say
know what
that.
I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, bro.
that's
Yeah.
tough, bro.
That's very
That's
tough,
tough.
bro.
Bro, Tyler, I appreciate you man, coming back for
Yes,
part
sir.
2, bro, and
Appreciate
really
y'all having
diving
me, man.
in.
Yes, sir.
Man, you've been an amazing guest, and guess what? We're going to have part 3
We
in
got
the future.
to.
You know what's going on.
Part 3?
You know what's going on. Part
Got to.
3 is coming in the
Turn on that
future,
light.
bro.
Switch that light.
Hey, hold on. What color you want? Hey,
Red.
green
Red.
light, because that's what red light, you coming back, bro. Whatever it is. But
Yes,
no,
sir.
I appreciate you, bro. We'll catch up. Can't wait to hear about how far, Camp Exposure. Once again, we need to include that link to fund them.
Yeah.
But been an amazing
I
guest,
appreciate
bro.
you, Tyler.
Appreciate
for
you,
real.
We're always here to support
Love
you,
you.
bro.
Love you.
Already.
Same.